ThruNite T11S version 2. This one happens to be the neutral white, which we will get to. This is an update from the original ThruNite T11S that I reviewed. You can check that out. The original T11S went up to 830 lumens, and this one will go up to either 990 or 1163, depending on how big you're willing for the light to be or how many batteries you're willing to use, and we'll get to that. The box here, I really like the new ThruNite packaging. I like it much better than the old style cardboard boxes with the flip open top, and I definitely like it better than the lunchbox style that some of the bigger lights used to have. So this one is nice and easy to open. Inside it, we get the light and a few other things. Just go through this real quick. There's a lanyard, if you're a lanyard person. It's of course the instruction manual. Always recommend that. Belt case, some people are belt case people. The belt case, standard ThruNite belt case. Velcro here. On the back there is a button with lots of Velcro. If you want to stick that on your belt, I suppose. The light will fit inside it, like so, fairly snugly. Actually, even snugger. Bump it down a little bit. So the light will fit inside it like that. If you want to carry this on your belt or mount it on a bag, you know, put this through some PALS webbing or something like that. A couple places you can feed that through. Otherwise, the light, the other things that come with it, there are 2 extra O-rings. Occasionally, just only a few times, I've had a few O-rings go bad on the lights and I've had to replace them. So it's nice that they include a couple extra ones. And then also, pocket clip. The pocket clip on this is a silver. And then extra tubing for the extra size and the extra power. Here's the light itself, T11S, ThruNite logo on the other side. $49.95 is the price on Amazon, and I'll throw a link in the description. With the ThruNite lights, you get a lot for your money. They put out really good quality lights. It's been my experience from all the ones I've reviewed, and they just keep getting brighter. It amazes me how bright LEDs and where they're going for the size you get these days. This one, again, single tubing, you get $990, and then I'll show you this. You can add the extra tubing here, and that'll bump you up to 1163. So it is a nice bump in brightness over the 830 of the previous. Take this apart and so I can throw some batteries in it and show it to you. On the inside here, you can use this with 2 different types of batteries. You can do 4 CR123s. Of note though, if you're going to use the CR123s, don't do 4 rechargeable ones because that's too high for the voltage. But it does come with a little tube here. That way the batteries won't bounce around on the inside if you're going to use the CR123s. Otherwise, you can use 1 or 2 18650s. If you want to use just one, we'll start here. One 18650, or alternatively, you can put in the extra tubing here. Put in an extra 18650. And you're gonna have a much bigger light. Will this fit in your pocket? I mean, I wouldn't count on every day carrying this. You can throw this end down in your pocket. This end's gonna stick out and you can grab it real quick if you want. Could you beat someone with it? It's a pretty beefy light. If you wanted to use it as a little bit of a club, it's definitely nice and long for that. Use it as a striking this way? Yeah, you could. But otherwise, it's a great light if you're not gonna carry it. Great light for keeping next to your bed. Great light for keeping in your bag. It's a tall light, so it'll be easy to grab, easy to find, and it's got a great throw with this head, which we'll get to. Starting at the back, the tail cap, it is not tail standable. The button does protrude a little bit. It's a forward click design, meaning that if you half press the light, it will come on, and then you click it and release it and it stays on. The button back here, similar to the original T11S, this button is now white compared to the black on the old one. And all you do, this is for changing the modes or alternatively for accessing the strobe from off. On down here, there's a cigar ring, such that if you wanted to hold it in a cigar type mode with a gun, or alternatively, it'll help it a little bit from rolling. This is removable if you want, if you don't want that on there. Moving on down the body, there's the knurling, standard ThruNite stuff, hard anodized type 3 aluminum. There are some heat sinks here, and then down into the head, it has this steel bezel, which is good both for if you have it on, you can see that it's on if you set it down, or I suppose if you want to use it as a striking type weapon because it is kind of long, you get a little few more edges there. The reflector, it's a deep, smooth reflector, that Cree LED deep down in there, and a reflective coating on the glass, both sides. The LED on this comes in both a cool white and a neutral white. It'll show on the box here, NW for neutral white. For those of you that don't know, the cool white is going to be a little bit more of a bluer beam, going to be a little bit more piercing in the dark. The neutral white is going to be a little bit more of a yellow beam, but is going to show colors in their more truer sense. I'm going to go back to the smaller version of the light here, just the single 18650, so I can talk about the user interface. It'll fit in the camera a little bit better here. As I mentioned, the tail cap sticks out. It's a forward click design, meaning that if you half press it, the light will come on momentary. Press it and release, the light will stay on. And then to switch modes, you use the button here, and it'll go, there's only 3 modes, which I like, low, medium, and high. I'll put the modes and the run times on the screen here for both the single 18650 and the 218-650. You don't get a lot of difference. You go from 990 up to 1163, so you're going to get a little bit more beam, but it's not a huge amount for the extra size and the extra battery. When the light is on, it does have mode memory, so if you turn it off, it will come back on to whatever you left it off at. There you go, turn it off on low, turn it off on high, comes back on the same. From off, there's the strobe, which you can activate momentary from the side button here. And then when the light is on, you can get to the strobe by just holding that button down. It will then stay in the strobe, click it back, and it'll go back to whatever brightness you left it off at when you went into the strobe. I like these lights that have the simpler user interface, that have just the 3 modes. There's no hidden mode, there's no SOS. The strobe is extra. You don't have to cycle through the strobe to get through all the modes. I like that user interface because the strobe is something I've used in the years I've been carrying flashlights. I've used it, other than just to show people, I've used it probably 2 or 3 times. I think to signal my parents in a parking lot, I turned the strobe on and said, hey, look, I'm over here. But that's about it. So I like the fact that it has a strobe, but I like the fact that the strobe is not sort of forced on you. You can use it as you want. Take it outside and have a look and see how bright this thing is in the dark. Here we go outside in the freezing snow. I'm going to do just the full-size light here with the 2 batteries so you can get an idea of the full brightness. Starting here on low, 16 lumens. You can see it's good enough for some up-close stuff. Not going to do too much far away. Bumping up to 323 lumens. Sign there about, I'd say, 20 yards. Clump of trees there about 30 yards. Not going to get a whole lot past that. And then bumping up to the full 1163 lumens. Up close here, super bright on this stuff. 20 yards, 30 yards. And on back, there's a clump of trees there. I'd say about 80 yards if we zoom in a little bit. Let's see if we can see. Back there about 80 yards, and it's a pretty good throw. We're getting all the way back there. The beam is nice and focused. You can see how tight that beam is going through the air there. So that's going to give a lot of throw to this light. All the way back there. Good 80 yards, I'd say. So there you go. Nice bright light. T11S version 2. Check this one out. Another great super thrower from ThruNite.